there. Ilya here. In this video, I will give you a short intro for our Discord ears bots, but also our second bot, which is the Discord speech bot. And I will afterwards do a tutorial on how to set it up for your own server, right? Because I get a lot of requests of people struggling to set up the bot since it's not, you can't invite the bot like other bots, right? You have to host it yourself. But the method that we present is completely free and it takes only, 10 minutes of your time to get it done. If you have a good tutorial. So this is why we're doing a live, step-by-step video tutorial so you can actually replicate the steps yourself. To give you a demo, if you just stumbled upon this video, right? What is the Discord ears bot, right? Or what are our bots? It's actually a piece of technology that allows us to transcribe speech into text. So as I'm speaking, um, the bot, which is in this case ears, right? It takes whatever I say and it tries to transcribe that into text, right? It takes a few seconds to process, depending on how long your sentence is, or how long the audio recording is that you spoke. And each time I stop speaking, the green circle around my name on Discord within the voice channel, it disappears, right? And that's when actually the message stops, right? So the shorter the messages, the quicker it can transcribe it into text, and then it outputs the text in the voice channel, right? And so if you have hearing impaired people or you don't want to listen to your friends on Discord, you can actually enable notifications that pop up, right? So each time the bot outputs someone else's, audio or voice input, it will show up on your screen, right? So that's something you can enable. Um, there are a few limitations, right? The bot isn't perfect. It does its best and it's also a free solution, right? But if you are an enterprise user or you're using this for a business, you can use a premium speech to text service, right? So the one that we present is completely free, so you can use it for entertainment purposes as much as you like. But there are better and more accurate ones and faster ones. For instance, we have the Google Speech API integrated. You only have to like enable it if you want to use that one. It's a paid solution, but it has a much higher accuracy than the one that we use now, which is provided by with AI, which is a subsidiary or like a, you know, some kind of spin-off within Facebook or something that they're related to Facebook, right? I don't know the details, but that's about it, right? And if you look at the output text, the transcription isn't perfect, right? It also depends on your accents, right? Your level of English, how well you pronounce, but it's might as well have a big impact on the type of microphone you use, right? So if you use a very cheap microphone or like a built-in laptop microphone, right? It may not work as well for you as it does if you have um, some more decent, input material, input hardware, right? There are a few hints, tips, and tricks that I can tell you about the bot, right? Um, but we will get there. We will get there. You can also change the language, right? They currently support with AI supports over 120 languages as they claim on their page, right? And if you use Google uh, Google Speech, right? This is something you can enable. There's a small section here on how to set it up, right? Um, I mean, like I said, it's a way better quality of service if you use a paid or a premium solution, if you can afford it, right? Because it's not the cheapest out there, but it's great. All right. So I will actually disconnect myself so we don't need to transcribe everything here. So to set it up, right? There are several ways, right? It's just a script, right? I'm not gonna show you how to write code or whatever. It is an open source project, so if you're a developer, you can tweak it, you can add your own features, right? You can do with it whatever you want to. But this is more for the general audience who would like to have use this bot within their server, but don't have a clue on how to install it, right? So there are a few ways. If you're a developer, you can use Windows, you can use Linux to run it. If you get into issues, right, it's probably because you're using the wrong version of Node or you have missing C++ or compiler libraries or dependencies, right? So that's something you have to install. But if you're a developer, you can Google that, right? Um, but in this tutorial, I will show you how to set it up using a free service called Heroku, right? It's a cloud server, so we can easily just put the solution out there. We have to provide two very simple settings and then like invite the bot into your server, or I mean our test server, right? So let's take it step by step, right? The first thing that we have to do is actually create a server, right? So let's create a Discord server. Um, This is, ears best, or, I love cats, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna have pictures here, but this is the basic principle, right? So you get a text channel and you get a Discord voice channel by default, right? So the next step that we need to do is um, we need to go into, well, actually, let's do it step by step, right? So you have our GitHub repository, right, of the Discord earbot. If you want to use our speech bot, which is the audio version, where you can actually use your voice to control the music player, right? It's a music bot pretty much. You can use this one as well. But for this one, you also have to provide your Spotify credentials, right? So if you have Spotify, you have to insert that as well. Um, mm, but if I'm not wrong, I think this is even optional, right? So I think you can even ignore these, but I'm not sure. Whatever. Let's focus on the Discord earpods, right? So you have to make a fork, right? So you fork this. Can I fork this? So since I am the owner, I can't fork it, right? But what you do is you click fork, right? And then maybe you have to click submit or whatever. And then it makes a copy of my repository, right? So it makes a copy of all these files that you need. And then once you have done that, right, you have to go to Heroku, heroku.com, right? I think I'm already logged in, right? So you go to Heroku, you create a free account, right? It's all free. And I think you might need to verify your email. So they send you an email, you just click on the link, right? Once you're on the dashboard, right, on this link, you have to click new and you have to create a new app, right? We can call this app YouTube demo, right? Choose, well, it's not available. I say I love cats demo. Okay, so this is available. So I'm currently based in Europe, so I'm gonna put Europe. You can leave it depending on your region. Okay, so now we actually have an app, right? And we can do some cool stuff with it. What we need to do is we need to connect to GitHub. Right? So I think we can click on GitHub. And in my case, I mean, this account is already set up with GitHub. So if you click GitHub, it might ask you to verify or allow access. So GitHub can access your Heroku, account. And once you have done that, you can select your profile here and Discord. Here's bot. So you have to search for the. So you can type in Discord, right? And it will show the repository that you forked, right? Remember that you clicked fork. It made a copy of my code into your account, and so now you can access that code repository from within Heroku. So I tap in Discord, I click on search, and now I can connect this app to this code. Right, I just click connect. That's it. Right now, a different set of features. come up. I don't think we need to do anything here. I think we need to go into resources, right? Do we need something in resources? Nope. Maybe back in deploy. Okay, so one thing that we will need to do is click deploy branch later, but first we need to set up we need to provide API uh, credentials, right? The API credentials will allow, the code or the bot to connect to your server, right? Because we need to give it access. And secondly, it also needs to connect to our speech to text API, right? The free speech to text service. So maybe let's start with the speech to text API. So we have to go to wit.ai, right? And when you're here, you have to connect with Facebook, right? I'm already connected, so it will take me to my account, right? Once I am in my account, I can create a new app. I can call it All of the Cats, right? Let's keep it as English, but you can set any default language, and then you can also change the language from within the bot, right? That's another cool thing. Um, okay, let's click create. So you don't need to do anything here except go to settings, right? And here it has your server access token. So this is the one that we need. And sometimes when you use the default one, it might not work, it might not work, and it might crash. So sometimes it's just better to just click generate a new token. Just do it once, right? So now it has a new token and we can copy it, right? Now we need to go into our Heroku again, go to settings, right? And we have to set up the config variables, config vars, right? So we just click reveal vars, and now we need to provide a key and a value. So we have the value, which is our server access token, and the key for this will be here, the with API key. So you need to copy this value, right? It's case sensitive. It's just copy it, right? Don't type it, just copy it to be safe. Copy everything, right? So we have the key, which is with API key, right? With the server access token, and now we can click add, and now we can add a second one. So the second one will be our Discord doc, our Discord token, right? So we need to add this as the key, and now we need to figure out the value, right? So for this, you need to have a Discord developer account. So you can just go to discord.com/developers, right? And I think you have to sign up or you just have to log in, right? And then once you're inside, you can click on new application, right? I can call it I Love Cats again and click create. So this is like the name of the app. I don't think I need to do anything here other than go into, I don't need this. I need to go into bot, right? I need to click add bot. Yes. And now a wild bot has appeared. Great. Right. And here I have my token. Right. Click to reveal token. So this is the token for the bot. So I need this. I need to click copy. Right. And I need to go back into my Heroku and paste this as the value. Okay. So we have our two necessary API keys, which is great. We can save this. Um, Pum, 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 pum. Okay, I think we're done here, right? You don't need to save here. We have to go back into deploy, right? So we have to scroll down, and then it says deploy GitHub branch, right? And we can click deploy. Give it a second. Okay, now it's building things, right? It's installing things on that cloud instance. Right? Give it a few seconds. Okay, so it says build succeeded. Pressing blah 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 blah. Done. Okay. Launching. Okay. So it says deploy to Heroku has succeeded. And now we can scroll up and click on more and then go to view logs, right? And if all went well, it would say logged in as I love cats, or in your case, whatever the name of your bot was, right? So if you get this message and this looks very similar, then it has succeeded. If you see error messages, right? Read the error message. If it says anything about invalid invalid token or invalid, key, then you probably should go back into settings, go back to the config vars and double check every value, right? Make sure that these are all correct, right? That there are no additional spaces, or it has to be 100% correct. Right? So just copy these values. And if it still complains, right, try to regenerate these values, right? There's also a second method for providing the API keys, which is using the settings file, right? Only use this if you know, if you're a developer and you know what you're doing. Because if you start mixing this and this, it will fail, right? Because it will favor this thing over this one, right? And it might get really confusing. So if you can only use the the environment variables or the config vars, just use that and ignore the config file, right? You don't need that. Okay. So now we are completely deployed. We can go back to our logs just to keep track of progress. So one thing that we have to do now is invite the bot into our server, right? Because as you can see, it's only just me and the server, right? So to do that, we need to go back into our Discord developers website. I think we have to go to OAuth, right? And here we need to generate a URL. So this would be, so we click on bots within scopes, right? So this will create a URL with which we can invite the bot. So you click bot, that's the only thing that you need to click. And then you need to add permissions, right? So this bot it can send messages. What else can it do? It can connect to voice. Can it speak? No, I don't think it can speak. Um, use voice activity. I don't know what that means. I mean, if you don't know which ones to check, right? Just keep it simple. You manage the bot, so you can just make it as an administrator, right? Just keep it simple. Just click admin, right? So you don't need anything else to worry about. And then you can just click copy, right? So we have copied this link, right? Now we have to open this link in our browser, and now it will ask, would you allow or to which server would you allow Isle of Cats to be added? And now I can go to or select my Isle of Cats server, and it asks me to confirm that this bot will act as an admin, and I can click authorize. Right? I have to verify that I'm not a human. I hope I'm not, or I hope I am. Authorized. Okay. And now, as you can see, Isle of Cats has been added to our server. So we can join our voice channel. And the commands that you can use are, do we have? Okay, so usage, right? So enter one of your voice channels and then type join. You can also type leave and type help, right? This bot is very simple. It only has, I think, three or four commands. Type join, right? And if all goes well, it would join, but apparently it is not joining. So in this case, um, So in this case, it failed because there's one thing that I missed, right? The bot has crashed. We need to go into resources. You need to go back into resources, and you need to change this from web to the worker, right? So you can disable this one. So you have to click here. You have to disable this, click confirm, and you need to enable this one, right? Okay. So once we have done that, we can go back into our logs, and it will start. I mean, Heroku will be starting the bot up once again, right? So now the bot is running up again. Now we can try again. Click join or type join. And now, as you can see, I love cats has been added. And as I'm speaking, you can see the output, right? So, yeah, yeah, okay. See? Hello, YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. It works. It works like magic, right? It's not 100% accurate, right? But this is for entertainment purposes. Um, okay. There are a few tricks, right, on how to use this. So as I said, it starts recording whenever it's your name highlights green, and then it stops when you're no longer green, right? Um, if you make a lot of noise or you have a noisy microphone, you may want to go into settings, voice and audio, and disable automatic sensitivity. And then you may want to make it way less sensitive, like set it to minus 30 decibels, right? So when I say small words or short sentences, I don't highlight green. I only start highlighting green whenever I am perfectly clear that I'm a human. But I think this is a bit too insensitive. I think 30 decibels is way too insensitive. Let's maybe set it to minus 50. Okay. I think this would be a good 50-50 thing. Yeah. Okay. So this is one thing that you can control it, right? And the other thing is sometimes you have multiple people in the channel, right? So this bot usually works perfectly fine if you have 3 or 4 people in the channel, right? But if you have more people, right, it can become a bottleneck, right? Because it can only transcribe like one audio file at a time because it's since it's a free plan provided by with AI, right? um, it can only do it in a one by one basis. It cannot transcribe everyone's audio in parallel, right? It does. So it does record everyone separately, right? So each person who speaks, it's a separate channel, right? So it's not like um, it doesn't transcribe everyone put together. It transcribes everyone separately because everyone's separate, microphone input is actually a separate file, which is sent to with AI to run the algorithm, right? But it can only process one file at a time. So if you spoke for 5 seconds, right, nonstop, then it might take, several seconds to process your 5 seconds and then outputs that. And then once it has completed that step, it will only then start transcribing the next person, right? So if you're a developer, you can extend this functionality, right? You can actually say, hey, I'm gonna use multi-threading or multi-processing to do this thing in parallel, right? Go ahead if you want to do that. Perfectly fine. Um, all right. What else? What else is important? So it's important to read some of these, right? But I think I've mentioned most of it already. Oh, yeah. So if you want to change languages, right? With AI supports 120. Um, what languages do you support, right? So here's a list of them. And you have to change the language, right? You need to type lang and use a special language code, right? Or let's try Dutch, right? Let's try Dutch since I know some Dutch. Dutch, Flemish, NL. Okay, so let's try NL. Okay, so it says it succeeded. Yeah, okay. Hallo, ik ben iets aan het testen. Yeah, see, it works. So it says, hello, ik ben iets aan het testen. Perfect. Okay, let's switch back to English. It's quite funny, so you can have a great laugh. Okay, so this is languages. Um, right? So there's a section here on how to change if you want to use a different speech recognition system. So Google Speech, the premium one, is already inside. You only have to modify some code to enable it, right? But I'll leave that up to the developers. And I think that's it. I think that's it, right? So this was the speech bot, the ears bot, right? The very basic one. We have the speech bot, right? Which is the music version. right? So we can actually say like, hey, music, play something random, right? And it would play something random. Or it would play something from a genre. If you say like, I want to play rock or I want to play hip hop or whatever, right? It can load a list of popular random hip hop songs or pop songs and start playing those. You can also look for something like if you want to say, hey, play Britney Spears or whatever, right? It will go on YouTube, it will query for the first video that comes up with, Britney Spears, and it will start playing that. Um, so yeah, so here are a few examples on how to use the speech bot from text channel, right? So you can use a command, or you can say, this is the standard way of saying it. Just say music play, music skip, music list, which will show a list, music clear list. You can also say music pause, stuff like that. Um, every, I mean, this one has a help command, so you can say, you know, star help, and then it will show you the commands. Here we have one as well. It's exclamation mark help, and it will give you a list of all the available options, right? Everything else is pretty much the same, right? You can also use the Google Speech if you want to. You can also change the language if you want to. Um, okay, so that's about it. So if you enjoyed this bot, make sure to give us a star on GitHub. Give us a star; it really helps us. Use the fork, which helps us a lot. So if you want to use this bot, just click fork to add it to your repository. Join our Discord server, right? Our official Discord server, which is here, and which is this one, right? So if you have a question or a problem, you can just, drop here and someone will reply to you as soon as possible. And other than that, enjoy, give us your feedback, your comment, and have a great day. Take care.